Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaign in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Well-being. We are also commemorating Viksit Bharat at 2047 and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating Global Day of Parents on 1st June, appreciating all parents throughout the world. Since the 1980s, the important role of the family has increasingly come to the attention of the international community. The General Assembly adopted a number of resolutions and proclaimed the International Year of the Family and International Day of Families, emphasizing the critical role of parents in the rearing of children. The Global Day of Parents recognizes that family has a primary responsibility for the nurturing and protection of children. For the full and harmonious development of their personality, children should grow up in a family environment and in an atmosphere of happiness, love, and understanding. Designated by the General Assembly in 2012, Global Day of Parents provides an opportunity to appreciate all parents for their selflessness commitment to children and their lifelong sacrifice towards nurturing this relationship. Families, parents, and caregivers play a central role in child well-being and development. They often identity, love, care, provision, and protection to children and adolescents, as well as economic security and stability. In keeping with the spirit of the Convention of the Rights of the Child, family parenting support is increasingly recognized as an important part of national social policies and social investment packages aimed at reducing poverty, decreasing inequality, and promoting positive parental and child well-being. So the theme for 2025 is Raising Parents. On the Global Day of Parents 2025, the theme Raising Parents draws attention to the essential but often underappreciated reality. Parenting is a learned skill. Parents and caregivers require time, resources, and support in order to raise children in a nurturing and positive environment. As part of this year's observance, UNICEF will launch Parenting Month 2025 to highlight the importance of equipping caregivers with the knowledge and tools they need The month-long campaign will feature touching stories about the joys and challenges of parenthood, share practical parenting tips and resources, and call for greater support for caregivers through parenting programs. You can watch a documentary, Raising Parents, Empowering Every Family to Thrive, which is not just a documentary, it's a call to action. Parenting is a journey filled with love, challenges, and endless learning. Raising a child is in every parent's most precious task, but too often caregivers around the world are left to do it alone. So, when we look at the background of this day, during the 1980s, the United Nations began focusing attention on the issues related to the family. 1983, based on the recommendations of the Economic and Social Council, the Commissioner for Social Development, in its resolution on the role of the family in the development process, 1983 by 23, requested the Secretary General to enhance awareness among decision makers and the public of the problems and needs of the family, as well as of the effective ways of meeting those needs. In the resolution 44 by 82 of 9th December 1989, the General Assembly proclaimed 1994 as International Year of the Family, and in Resolution 47 by 237 of 1993, the General Assembly decided that 15th May of every year to be observed as International Day of Families. In 2012, the General Assembly proclaimed 1st June as a Global Day of Parents to be observed annually in Hour of Parents throughout the world. Like no one else, parents and caregivers shape the experiences that build their children's brains and set them on a path towards healthy development. Parenting is too big a job for parents and caregivers to do alone. They need support to give their children the best possible start in life. So, families remain at the center of social life, ensuring the well being of their members, educating and socializing children and youth, and caring for the young and old. In particular, family orientation policies can continue to the achievement of sustainable development goals relating to do away with poverty and hunger, ensuring healthy lives and promoting of well-being for all ages, ensuring educational opportunities throughout the lifespan and achieving gender equality. Today, we are also commemorating World Reef Awareness Day on June 1st and helps to create awareness among various business communities and general public about the fragile biological systems of our oceans. Coral reefs, our ocean's coral reefs. So this day unites people belonging to different backgrounds, environmental, including environmentalists and social activists to come up with various ideas and techniques to protect the ecosystems of our reefs from deteriorating. The oldest corals appeared about 500 million years ago, or even earlier. Researchers suggest that they began as plain solitary organisms with the time and constant environmental changes transformed into beautiful coral reefs that exist today. So during an ice age around 440 million years ago, sea temperatures dropped at an exponential rate and a larger number of corals began diminishing from the ocean. This is called Ordovician Silurian extinction event around 410 million years ago. In the Devonian period, corals began to appear again. During the end of this period, story corals started growing, which were a rare form of reef back again. Then, around 350 million years ago, corals disappeared again due to unstable sea levels. 100 million years later, corals appeared once again to be wiped out once more by Permian Triassic extension 250 million years ago, where over 90% of the sea creatures were affected. Reduced oxygen levels and increased carbon dioxide in the sea caused this tragic extinct event. After disappearing and reappearing for another few million years, coral reefs finally reappeared 46 million years ago and disappeared for the last time during the mid-Eocene era 20 million years ago. Later, then they finally made a comeback in the form of Great Barrier Reef in Australia, which was found by British explorer Captain James Cook in 1770. Lately, some of the most beneficial reefs have been diminished because of coral bleaching, rising ocean temperatures, and toxic pollution. Moreover, the use of harmful sunscreens and increased tourism are also considered threats to the well-being of the coral reefs. Today is also commemorated as World Outlander Day, which is celebrated on June 1st every year. It is dedicated to the long-running historical television drama series Outlander, based on the also ongoing novel series of the same name by author Diana Gabaldon. The show stars Citronia Bell as protagonist, Clary Randall, a married former War II military nurse who gets transported back to 18th century and falls in love with and marries a Highland warrior, James Fraser, of a fictionalized version of Clan Fraser of Lovat, amid the Jacobite Rising of 1745. The show premiered in August 2014. It currently has 6 seasons and has been renewed for another season. Today is also commemorated as World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day on June 1st, which is a global event that takes place annually, intending to raise awareness about the impacts of narcissistic abuse. Are not as clear cut due to its intangible nature and lack of research. Thus, the day is dedicated to providing education, support, and resources for survivors to build a greater understanding of how to help victims avoid abusers in future and rebuild their mental health. So, World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day was initiated in 2016 by psychotherapist Bree Bonke as a campaign to highlight and educate the public on the effects of narcissistic abuse and how signs can be spotted. So the indicators of a mentally abusive relationship are not always clear, while physical abuse leaves telltale marks such as bruises, cuts, and scars. Emotional abuse is difficult to pinpoint due to its mainly verbal and mental nature. However, it can have a larger, longer impact on the victim that can affect them through the rest of their lives. The word narcissist itself is commonly used to describe anyone full of themselves, but its meaning goes deeper than the narcissist itself. It's a destructive, damaging pattern of behavior that can leave severe mental impacts on others. Victims of narcissistic abuse may have experienced things such as gaslighting, isolation, and neglect, and may be insulted regularly by a partner, friend, family member, or even strangers. Sometimes more impressionable victims not realize the abuse is happening as they might internalize this confusion, causing further mental damage and increasing their self deprecation. Sometimes abusers do so because they suffer from actually personality disorder, namely narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and many others. But they don't necessarily have to be. They may exhibit signs of antisocial behavior and inability to show sympathy or empathy to others, and an incredibly self important nature that makes them actively restrict self reflection, treatment, and change. The causes of developing these traits can range from cultural factors to the state of upbringing. Unfortunately, the effects of narcissistic abuse are relatively understudied, and the statistics can be hard to come by. So, this makes putting an end to narcissistic abuse a challenge, but it's still possible to do so by raising awareness and educating people on what constitutes such abuse and how to identify abusers and what can be done to help the victims and survivors. There is also commemorated as World Milk Day, which is celebrated on June 1st every year, from cool glass of milk, hot butter being spread seamlessly across toast or a heaping bowl of ice cream. World Milk Day celebrates it all. The day was organized by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations to celebrate the dairy industry and recognize milk as a globally important food. World Milk Day seeks to start a conversation on how nutritious, affordable, and accessible milk is around the globe, not to mention delicious. Today, we attempt to answer the age old question: what was the first guy, or who was the first guy to drink milk thinking? So, while these thoughts may be lost to the ether of time, we do have some knowledge about how milk came to be popular and stable source of nutrition for early humans. Though humans began to drink milk when animals were domesticated in the Neolithic age around 9000 to 7000 BC, lactose tolerance was lost in adults for all of the humanity's history before this age. Until a later genetic mutation allowed us to drink milk, early humans mostly ate fermented dairy products, which were more easily digestible. So, milk became important in many cultures, both for spiritual and logical reasons. For example, for ancient Egyptians, Greeks, and Sumerians, milk was a key element in mythology. Some people in Western Africa believed the universe started with a single drop of milk. Mongolians traveled with dried horse milk that could be reconstituted and provide nourishment on long journeys. As much as milk was worshipped, it was also ridiculed. While early Japanese Buddhists mocked those who consumed butter, Northern Europeans were thought disgusting for consuming reindeer milk. In Rome, milk was thought to be a low class beverage, only to be consumed by farmers who had no other choice. So, the next chapter in the history of milk comes from industrialization. While most countries and cultures had adopted milk, many places just weren't close enough to farms with milk to enjoy it. Enter railways. Suddenly, urban demand for milk in prices like London and Paris is skyrocketed. Rural imports transformed milk into a big time market throughout the 1800s. There was much innovation around the milk, from breweries opening dairies to feed their spent grains to cows to vaccines being invented by watching how milkmaids avoided smallpox. So, milk has clearly had a huge impact on our society, but the demand and production of it have shifted dramatically. In recent years, in 2016, milk was overproduced in several countries, and many, including China, put a stop on any milk imports. In recent years, many dairies have filed for bankruptcy as trends are shifting towards alternate non-dairy milk due to COVID-19. Dairy farmers have been dumping millions of gallons of milk per day. Who knows what will happen to the dairy next? Today is also commemorated as Wear a Dress Day in US, which is celebrated on June 1st and gives women an opportunity to sport their favorite dress. These include dresses of all sorts, designs, and patterns, and all that is important that it's a dress you love. So, why create a day that is all about dresses? You can ask. Well, the fact is, dresses are easy to wear and super comfy, especially in the hot summer weather when you begin to sweat the minute you step out of an air conditioned space. So, use this occasion to dump your jeans and add on a cute dress that make you look so lovely. Among various interesting days celebrated across the US, one fun occasion is Wear a Dress Day dedicated to all women, or basically anyone who wants to wear a dress. The day is all about dressing up and having fun. The question is why the dresses are so important to the ladies. Well, this is mostly because there is a long history of how dresses evolved over time and not all were most comfortable. For instance, from the 16th century till the 19th century, dresses were often worn with uncomfortable corsets that made it hard for women to even breathe. While the dresses looked gorgeous, they were also extremely uncomfortable to wear, since they were created out of various layers of heavy fabrics. In 1775, the dresses got bigger and fancier, making it tough for women to move around with ease. It wasn't until 1860 when the dress fabric became simpler and easier to wear, but the size of dresses only began to decrease in 1990s. By the 1920s, the hemlines began to reduce and dress became more enjoyable. Today, women can wear short dresses, loose dresses, tight dresses, or full length gowns without worrying about rigid social norms. And it's this empowerment that makes us want to celebrate Wear a Dress. Today is also commemorated as Samoa Independence Day. In Samoa, which is celebrated on June 1st, the country gained independence from New Zealand on January 1st, 1962, and it's the first Pacific Island country to gain independence. The date was originally January 1st, 1962, but it was changed to avoid having this special celebration fall on New Year's Day. Samoa is a Polynesian island consisting of two main islands. Its capital city is Apia. Its official language is English, and its estimated population of 198,000 plus as of 2020. There is also commemorated as National Skincare Education Day that takes place every June 1st. Higher education skincare started this celebration in September 2020 to emphasize the significance of incorporating safe and nourishing substances into one's everyday skincare routine. This day aims to raise awareness about the importance of proper skincare and help people better understand their skin. It is essential to know what products are best for your skin type and how to apply. So, skincare is one of those medical advancements that often fly under the radar. Most people don't realize how far we have come in taking care of the skin. The body's largest organ, but skincare routines actually go all the way back to ancient Egypt. And its preservation were more important parts of this culture. So they cleanse their skin with olive oil and clay mixtures and moisturize it with milk masks. Today is also commemorated as National Pen Pal Day in US. We celebrate this day with great excitement, the rich tradition of making pen pals continues even today, despite social media. People love writing and reading letters from friends. Pen Pal Day is an excellent way to learn about people from different countries and cultures and can help you to connect with new pen pals all around the world. The trend of making pen pals itself started during 1930s and 1936. A society named Student Letter Exchange was formed to help people find suitable pen pals. It's helped young students from different countries connect through letters and learn about each other's cultures. Many pen pal companies back in the day charged a fee for their services. They would assist people in finding suitable pen friend according to their likes, dislikes, and personality. During the 1950s, newspapers and magazines started columns dedicated to pen friends. People looking for a pen pal would either have the brief details published in that section or find one with similar interests from the list that's already published in that column. Today, one can find pen friends through online communities and social media. National Pen Day is a fantastic way to make your friends feel special and loved. Pen pal shares personalized gifts and messages with each other on this day. A pen pal can be from any part of the world, and in most cases, it is not necessary to meet them in person. You interact with them through letters. Today is also commemorated as National Olive Day on June 1st in US. Olive has its roots in a traditional Mediterranean diet, but it's enjoyed worldwide these days. So National Olive Day on June 1st is a great opportunity to find way to incorporate some olives into your diet. Perhaps your local grocer has an olive bar allowing you to select from numerous varieties of olives. Or maybe you have received an olive at a local bar as garnish for martini. Even James Bond made the switch to Oliver. They offer a host of healthy types of fats and fatty acids while also providing a natural source of iron. And there are far more ways to prepare olives than you probably know. Olives are green on trees and then they can be grown for serving as a table fruit or for producing oil. If you cook with olive oil, you can receive many of the same benefits that eating olives provide, including the introduction of healthy fats. Grocers carry a wide variety of olive oils, so you have plenty of options for incorporating them into your recipes. National Olive Day is a great day to try eating some new varieties of olives. And it's also a great day for learning the magic trick for getting pimento inside the green oliver. A high-speed machine pits the olive and then stuffs in pimento, which unfortunately isn't all that magic. It is also commemorated as National Nail Polish Day in US. Almost all women, at least the ones who have loved to add color to their hands, initiated in 2017 by nail polish brand Essie. The day is all about cherishing nail polishes and hundreds of shades that were available to the women across the nation. And yes, there are more hues. Today is also commemorated as National Hazelnut Cake in US. To raise toast to the tasty hazelnut cake on this day, it is customary to eat some hazelnut Nut cake, hazelnut cakes are one of the most popular cakes in America. Their multiple varieties make them great choice for different people in different states. So references to hazelnuts are frequent in the Bible as well as ancient Greek and Roman mythology, in which they were believed to have harvesting healing powers. Pliny the Elder, a Roman scholar in the first century AD, hazelnuts are known by several names, including Pontic, Fibered, and cob nuts. They are native to northern and southeastern US, along with the Midwest and Canada. Today is also commemorated as National Cancer Survivors Day in US. On the first Sunday of June each year, on June 1st this year, nonprofit National Cancer Survivors Day Foundation rallies its forces and resources to promote National Cancer Survivors Day in the US and worldwide, as it has done since 1988. The NCSD Foundation builds to the NCSD Foundation website. Anyone can register an event and gain the support of the wider organization. The organization offers a range of resources, including roster of speakers, medical professionals, major and minor celebrities, authors, and more who are available to help host events in respective towns and cities. NCSD celebrations have also included art exhibitions, carnivals, contests, and testimonials by high-profile surveyors. In 2008, the fanfare included a commencement by US President George W. Bush, side by side with the director of National Cancer Institute. Generally, official coverage of National Cancer Survivors Day is provided by magazine Coping with Cancer during the 2020 celebrations, as the magazine reported. Many events were cancelled or changed to online or only or socially distanced versions, but the day still included a drive-through red carpet celebration in Louisville, Kentucky, with vehicles all decked out in pink and red paint, corsets and plumage donned in a parade by the New Orleans Pussyfooters. In that day, a virtual ribbon walk in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and many more unique instances of coming together in solidarity with survivors. Day is also commemorated as National Billboard Day in US, which is celebrated on June 1st every year. This was created by Keystone Outdoor Advertising, an out-of-home advertising agency located in Philadelphia and New Jersey to celebrate the earliest form of advertising in the world. Billboards are pretty much everywhere you go, so reach millions of people daily when placed at a Today is also commemorated as National Barefoot Day in US on June 1st, and this is an opportunity for us not only enjoy the feeling of walking around barefoot, but also support a charity that strives to provide underprivileged children with shoes. Often we don't realize how privileged we are to have something as simple as shoes to wear. On this day, it's imperative to take cognizance of our privilege and give to those in need. An unfortunate Indian Ocean tsunami disaster in 2004 left many adversely affected by the event and drove them towards the primary goal of this day is to encourage people to donate footwear, be it used or new. This day can be given to the underprivileged people who desperately need shoes. Instead of just discarding your own shoes, old shoes, when you are bored of them, wouldn't be it better to give them someone who could really make some use of them? We underestimate the difference between an usual pair of shoes because they don't own shoes. Donating shoes will not only help solve the problem, but also prevent your shoes from simply ending up in landfills. Since the inception of this cause, there has been unprecedented and overwhelming support, with over 40.5 million pairs of shoes being donated. Across the world, people are encouraged to help and bring joy in someone else's life through the simple act of donating a pair of shoes. Today is also commemorated as International Children's Day in US, which is celebrated annually on June 1st in different parts of the world as an initiative for children's well-being and rights. This day is celebrated as part of greater cause that revolves around ending child abuse, ending the deprivation of children of their rights, and making efforts to improve lives of children all around the world, not to be confused with Universal Children's Day, which is celebrated in November. International Children's Day is almost identical to its counterpart, the only difference being that it is celebrated in June. The more, the merrier. Children's Day or International Children's Day is a commemorative day in honor of children worldwide, celebrated as part of 1925 proclamation in Geneva at World Conference on Child Welfare. The day is observed on different dates in different parts of the world. Some countries celebrate in June, some in November, but the aim of the day has always been the same. Since the Industrial Revolution, the world wars that followed, it was observed that children had been severely abused, oppressed, and deprived of human rights. Being weak and timid, they could easily be forced into oppression, unjust, unethical, immoral activities. They were exploited and manipulated. Millions of them were found to be malnourished. All these discoveries were highlighted during the Geneva Conference, so the world leaders decided to protect children worldwide. In the developed countries of the time, immediate action was taken to improve the conditions for children, while in the developing countries, funds were made and donations were given to the donor agencies for the social development of people and children in these places. Various campaigns were organized and social calls were made for volunteers to arrive and help in development. Among these activities, its main There is also commemorated as International Intergenerational Day in Canada. Now, more than ever, we are seeing an increasing gap between old people and young. And in order to reduce and close the gap, Intergenerational Day on June 1st was created. The day is a way to bring different generations together by helping them see their similar connections they have with each other is also a way to reduce loneliness, depression, anxiety, and stress that people of all ages experience. Of course, medical attention and treatment will likely cure such illnesses. However, at the same time, studies have shown that having someone to talk. However, at the same time, studies have shown that having someone to talk helps as well. Old people tend to be at stage in their lives where they are not usually busy with the things that might taken up much of their time before family and work. Young people, on the other hand, would have so much going on in their lives that would need a guiding hand to see them, though this is where Intergenerational Day comes to play. Day is also commemorated as Flip a Coin Day, celebrated every year on June 1st. Is a day where the history and significance of coin tosses are highlighted. This is because coin flips have been used to make vital decisions for centuries. From looks of it, this habit was carried forth by the coming generations instead of worrying yourself over different choices. So leave the date, the chance, and make decisions based on coin toss. All you have to do is trust the universe and flip a coin so that you choose heads or tails. There is also commemorated as Don't Give Up the Ship Day in US, celebrated every year on June 1st in the remembrance of USS Chesapeake's commander, Captain James Lawrence. The day's purpose is to honor the ship's crew and its captain, who refused to surrender the ship to the British and remained on the ship until his death. Although there are different accounts from different sources about the incident, Americans celebrate it as a remarkable display of bravery and gallantry of its naval forces. The USS Chesapeake was a naval war frigate intended to carry 40 guns and was one of the 6 frigates ready under the Naval Act of 1794. The short career of the ship started from the first assignment was to relieve the existing ship at the Mediterranean Sea for patrol and convoy duties. But before that, the ship needed a crew and some repairs. During the recruitment, Gordon unknowingly recruited 3 deserters from British HMS Melampus. Historians often argue on whether Gordon knew if he was recruiting deserters, but it certainly was a reason why British attacked it later on. Today is also commemorated as Day on June 1st in US, which is a perfect opportunity for people to break out of their shells and do something different. Not all people like to take risks, and this is very lack of courage that makes one fall into a comfort zone where even thinking of doing something daring becomes unacceptable. So day is a perfect time for you to break out of your shell and shock everyone around. Dare to be different and enjoy it while it lasts. Today is also commemorated as Step Parents Week from June 1st to 7th, which is celebrated in the first week of June from June 1st to 7th. When many people hear the word step parent, stepfather, or stepmother, they mostly associate it with abusive relationships. While there might be a few bad apples, a lot of step parents are doing very well to provide their families with all they need financially, physically, and emotionally. A step family is one where at least one parent has child or children that is not biologically related to their spouse. This is not new as we see it every day. Lives as different circumstances lead to step families coming together. It is also commemorated as Volunteers Week from June 1st to 7th in UK, which is an annual celebration of the millions of people who volunteer throughout the UK. Small charities and larger well-known organizations alike support and celebrate Volunteers Week, which brings together hundreds of activities taking place across the UK. It's natural for people to feel happy after helping someone. Volunteering might help you to develop new skills and experiences while also boosting your confidence. So these programs highlight and honor volunteers and the positive impact they have on our communities. So every year between June 1st and 7th, Volunteers Week is celebrated. It's a week in which the UK honors volunteers and expresses gratitude for their contributions. This event was first organized by Volunteering Day, the Volunteering England in 1984, and is now handled by NCVO, National Council for Voluntary Organizations. Volunteers Week has grown significantly each year with numerous special events and volunteer projects planned throughout the week. The manifestation of the civic life has developed today as people attempted to live lives that represent their values. Doing good has many forms and we acknowledge and celebrate them all, whether it's online or at the office or at the local food bank with a vote, a voice, or a ballot. So this week also spreads awareness about the advantages of volunteering and many volunteer opportunities available. Volunteering has a positive effect on people's life, helps people obtain new skills and raises self-esteem, in addition to the helping others. In the UK, numerous voluntary organizations rely on volunteers. Every Volunteers Week has a new focus to assist organizations in reflecting on how they may successfully expand volunteer opportunities to all and diversify their volunteer population and trustees. So Volunteers Week 2022 is a time to express thanks. Volunteers have played a critical role in the pandemic response. During the particularly trying couple of years, despite from all backgrounds across the UK, have volunteered and made a significant difference in their communities as they do every year. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. So see you all tomorrow at the same time, with the same link with different commemorations. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been shared in the form of polls. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.